that one night and made sure that young blood, you ain't gonna make that same mistake I make. Your mama night might like the way I knock you across the head, but if I catch you cussing out an elder in my neighborhood, you getting it. See, that's what got me before y'all now. It ain't no degrees, it ain't no special family that I came by. It's simply by knowing that it takes a village to raise a child. Once again, I'm sit down, I'm Corey Petway. Thank you all for your time.
All right.
Terrell Jones, that's a hard act to follow. Right, damn, praise the Lord. Hey, listen, so we asked the question, so I just kind of took notes about some of the things we could do for solution. One thing that I like very much is you said, first of all, we not, everybody may be coming from this thing from a different angle, but we're all trying to get to something similar to the same end. And I think that needs to be appreciated. Love is a key. If you love people, then you'll love to reduce violence. I also want to say that as much as all the work that everybody here, we all claim that we've been doing, we've been doing, homicide is still up in the city. Okay, so I started to cuss right there because sometimes I think, some of us get a little passive aggressive about, what you doing versus what I'm doing, what you doing versus, okay, here, homicides are up. Okay, so coming together is key, right? I'm gonna throw my ego on the ground. I'm jacked up. I'm jacked up dude trying to solve some problems. Okay, and we need to talk about a solution. So what I did was I wrote a list of stuff. Some of you won't be able to write it down, but I wanted to say it before I leave. It seems like one of the things, not the only thing.
And we get it abbreviated. We actually fit some
right.
behind.
One of the things we need to do is develop a community apparatus that will provide biopsychosocial help to parents and youth. Right? Provide specific mentoring model for specific age groups. Provide advocacy in the justice system. Provide soft skill and job skill training. Scholarship education is needed. Collaborate with schools and churches. An apparatus that will provide entrepreneur training. An apparatus that will provide job staffing. And a way to teach these kids how to give back to their community. In other words, community advocacy training so to help them give back. That's it for me. I'm on the lead.
Peace and love, family.
Peace.
First and foremost, man, I want to just let the world know that that's my dude right there.
That's my cousin.
And that's why. Because he put it all in perspective. We think a lot, but he just showed you what it's really about. He makes me step away from the intellectual and it'd be man, this is what it's really about, right? So with that love, we have to have strategy. We have to have strategy to go along with that love to make this thing work, right? So now, we often hear, September 24th, if you to ask me what's the number one issue in Birmingham, I'd have said poverty. September 24th, I would have said that. But I left and I went to Africa. And I went to a place called Kumasi. And I went with our people called the Ashanti. And they lived in a condition that we would call worse, like nothing you can ever think of as far as material things is concerned. But I saw beautiful people that loved each other, no violence. 20 murders out of 1.5 million people, they consider that high. 20 killings a year amongst 1.5 million people, they call that high. You dig? So it wasn't about the poverty. It was about the mentality of the people back to the love. See, when I walked amongst these people, it was, hey, how you doing? In their language, though. And it was whatever problem came up, they circulated the information amongst each other and solved it and kept on moving. Nobody got bogged down in problems. And everybody was happy. The little kids running around with no diaper on and dirty feet were happy and playing. Everybody ate. No homelessness. The conditions didn't look nothing like here, but it was no violence, no arguing, no bickering, no egos. Millionaire. I'm sitting next to a millionaire for 3 days. I didn't even know it. He going running errands for Ali. Ali broke. He ain't got. He live in a shed. He live in a mansion. He run errands for him with no problem, no egos. So when I came back, I said, no, it ain't about the poverty. It's about the people. The people are messed up. So we have to go and change the people. We have to develop the human being. We have spent a whole bunch of time developing the infrastructure, the buildings, the things. But we're not developing the people. The people are still dilapidated, right? So the work got to start from ground zero, getting in here. When we find a dilapidated person, an abandoned person, not a lot, but an abandoned person, a dilapidated person, we got to build up the people. We got to plant something in the people, right? Once we get the people together, then we can get to the next part, which is the education and everything we all talked about. Everything. I ain't going to go into, but we can get to all of that. But the first thing we got to do is restore the people. You did. That's what the work is about.
So when we meeting, 60 seconds, listen to, you want me to start? Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Me and her were sitting here talking to ourselves when we're going to meet. I believe everyone has some great things that we're trying to do. I also believe we need to get together to see what's been working in everybody's organization so we can share amongst each other, so we can take what someone else was successful for them and take it to the other people. Never be in a position to tell the customer no. It's one thing that they all teach you in customer service. So if I can't do something, if I'm only doing fashion art music, if the child say they want to do boxing, boom. There's an organization for that. If they want to do something else, boom, there's an organization for that. So never be in a position to tell them no. We do need to get together, if we can, once a month, just so we can see what is working for each and everybody's organization, so we can take it back and do what we got to do. I'm done. When we meeting on the street, that's what I already know. There's some women that ride too. I'm one of them.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to quickly say, it's good. All the talk and everything is good. I'm not about talk. I'm about action. So if you're just going to sit here and spew out ideas, thank you. That doesn't work for me. So I'm all about action. When I see something that needs to be done, I just go do it. I don't wait on the next person to do it or see if I can get somebody else to do it. One way or the other, it's going to get done. I'm going to do it. I got a big mouth, and I don't care I care to use it in any form, fashion that it needs to be. When the Boutwell didn't get open the last time we had the tropical storm, guess what? I got on live, and I made a big fuss. And guess what? It got open. So that our people, our homeless people, or our people that live in mobile homes and things that did not have a place to go because they were trying to tell me that, oh, well, that's the Red Cross's responsibility. That's not the Red Cross responsibility. Birmingham take care of Birmingham. So that's what I'm about. So if you see something that needs to be done, go do it. You see these kids acting up, stop them. You cannot just keep ignoring the problem. It will never get fixed that way. So if anybody about that action, if you need me, call me. I will come. Jennifer, no, I'm everywhere trying to do everything with everybody. I don't even have that many arms to stretch that far because I have a 9-year-old myself that I have to take care of as well, but I just drag him along. My son been marching. He been a little activist since he was 3 years old. Like you said, kids need to be there. Mine, he there. He just not with me right now, or else he will be here. But I believe in showing your children. You have to show the children what you want. If we don't start in building up future leaders, we won't have any. After our generation is gone, if we're not building up our kids to be activists, to be advocates, to care about the community, we won't have that. So yes, that is very important that you bring your children with you. I do that and I always encourage people to do that. And you have to teach them to start caring about more than themselves, because that's the biggest problem. We are a selfish society, and we are only worried about ourselves. When we step outside of self and step into community more, all of these we won't even have these problems. But we need to stop being so selfish. And if it doesn't benefit you, what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. It's not all about you. You don't have to be getting something to give something. That's the problem. Everybody wants to get to give, and that's we can't function as a society like that.
Lastly, one of the things that I think everyone has stated, it's about a 4-letter word that we seldom like to do. I made a post on Facebook this past week. Work. It's easy to talk. They said a parrot can talk. But how many of us are willing to take the talk into the next level, which is work? If we're willing to work, the solution is in the work and not in the talk. Okay? I commend these brothers because I see them out. I'm one of those guys at 2 a.m. that's talking to the homeless folks down here under the bridge that gets my wife to fix some food and take it down there to them because I understand what the mentality, I understand what they're going through. I understand that sometimes all they want is just somebody to come and say, hey man,
Just talk.
Huh.
I love you.
Just
and
talk.
go, I'm not doing it. I don't do it when the cameras are showing, okay? I don't do it when I don't call Lonnie and say, hey man, I'm fixing to go and feed the homeless. That's not his business. It's my work. So if I want things to change, if I want the condition of our neighborhoods to change, then I've got to be the one that does it. I don't care what the DA does, and he's my frat brother. He's good. But I don't care what he does. I don't care what Lonnie does. Best friend I have. At the end of the day, it's what I choose to do to change. There's a scripture that says that when the people had a mind to work, that's what it's about. It's about work. It ain't about talk. And it's time for us to transfer the talk into something tangible, which is work.
I just want to make sure that this solution is reiterated. Cure violence. Go to cureviolence.org and look over this initiative. Get familiar with it and tell me what you think about it. If y'all agree to it, if y'all like it, then help us implement it here in Birmingham. I think it's not police oriented. It doesn't deal with incarceration. It deals with solving the problem at the root. So that's the solution that I present.
Before we leave, can I say something? I commend everybody in the room. I know a lot of y'all don't see me as but I do the work. So I'm gonna challenge everybody in the room. These guys know me. They know I'm in the hood. I'm in Kingston. I started this site there. I don't know if you pastor in Kingston. Okay, but you look just like the guy that pastor at that church. There's two churches on one street.
Yeah.
I actually started a garden on the end of that street, which made the church open their garden. They just was on the news. I don't see, our brother Sudan called me about Art Franklin coming out to film. People been asking to film and ask what we do, but I'm not really concerned about getting credibility. I'm trying to get my people somewhere to grow their own food, because it all starts with earth. Once you go back to earth, that's what's going to teach you to love. I come from the street, and people know me. People know me. Because people going to look at me and say, well, I know him before, and it's going to go back to the negativity. So I just do the work. But if people coming out, once you start to plant a seed, and you see that thing grow, you're going to love life then. You're going to love life then. That's what God is. It's showing you that it loves life every day. That's where your food comes from. Ain't nobody in here going to live without food. Nobody. We can argue and bicker and fight all day. If you put food on the table, we're going to laugh and cheer. It's going to be all love. You take that food out the room, it's going to be chaos. That's why we got chaos. Ain't no food in the room. Ain't no food in the houses. Ain't no food in the communities. We going to all these stores giving these people our money, but we're not investing in some shovels, some pickaxes, and some land. Handful of seeds. They give you 100 seeds in a pack for $3. One seed might bear 3,000 tomatoes. That's one seed. They gave you 100 seeds for $3. That's 300,000 tomatoes. How much they selling them to you in the store for? $2 for $1? $2 for $1? That's 300,000 tomatoes. You want to get back to something and really help, and you got to come out in the community. That's what I do. I give gardens. I go out in the communities. I got a garden in West End. I work for Urban Ministry. That's why I learned that. That's my school. That's my first investment. They invested in me for me to do something for my people. My dream is great. I don't think about just being here. I want to travel the world and instill gardens in all communities. So we got food everywhere. Then we can take it and do whatever we want to do. Ain't no oppression on it. You go back to this with the solar power, rain recoveries. You have those things out there and you catch everything you need. You go out there and water, you go back in the house. Or you go to work, or you go do whatever you're going to do. But once it's time to reap, you can share with everybody then. It's all love then. When it's time to reap, you're reaping all season. You get potatoes out the ground in the wintertime. I love sweet potatoes. I've been growing my own with harvesting all year. If we're going to do something, that's what we need to do. We need to come together and talk about going into the communities and installing some gardens, collect.
Thanks, but we got to get out. See that? You shook my hand 4 times. See that? Engagement. Engage the youth. define, how do we say define and control the narrative and empower. Engage, define, and control the narrative and empower. Those how you can help the children nowadays. She has a job to do as a school board. She's coming into a failing school system. Help her.
That's how we gonna change that. Well, we gonna change the narrative about stop saying failing.
Failing.
We're
Stop
gonna,
saying.
find another word to use for our children.
Challenge.
Because if
Challenge.
we continue to say that they're failing, then they're gonna think negatively. So
But
let's
that's what I'm
change the
saying.
word.
When we're saying failing, that's what I mean by control the narrative. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can do this. Empower these kids. What are we having them to do? We got brilliant people in this room. This woman right here was stood up against somebody who think she was offended, and she stood up for it. Our kids can't even defend themselves now. That's why they're killing themselves and killing the people, because they don't know how to empower and engage themselves. They don't know. We got to be out there. You understand what I'm saying? This is not the show. You know, this ain't parenting and all this. This was real issues. But this brother here, everywhere we go, see, he's still engaging. You understand what I'm saying? The body naturally wants to be engaged. It naturally. This brother right here is one of the smartest brothers I know. Has our own talk show on Sunday. Get engaged and listen to what they're saying. They're not doing it for it. I don't know this brother. And he's here. So somebody in here connected with him, but he's here. This is gun violence. And I didn't say black or white. I said stop gun violence. I appreciate everybody for coming out here. During the storm, on a Sunday. Hope you ain't got through eating your greens yet, or hope you can go home to them. But I know they do. I appreciate everybody. Josh, create a group, a temporary group for everybody. Act up, act out, something. So when y'all see it, you know what it is. And then put all what everybody's doing. And let's see who we can get to support this. Like I say, she's doing a team summit on the 14th at Green Acres, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 to 2. Come out. Brother Carr is going to do it. He's going to be one of the guest speakers. And Lanice Washington, come out. Corey has stuff going on all the time. Brother Shabazz has stuff going on all the time.
Excuse me. I need the support with my globe with our youth boxing programs, agriculture and youth boxing. We need y'all. We need the support because we are making a huge impact in these children's lives that we're talking about. But the faces that they see are our faces. They don't see each other's faces. Okay, it is a free program that we're doing because we want to reach out to everybody. But we need help.
Well, make sure we got everybody information. We're gonna send Josh gonna send y'all a friend or join you, whatever, and then tell what kind of help you need. And thank you. Josh closes out.